I'm Lou Rosalia, and this is the AI Cockroach Show.
Am I the only one that didn't know cockroaches could be epic? Buckle up because this AI cockroach is about to take you on a wild ride through time. Imagine stepping out of a prehistoric mud puddle and walking through the ages. The AI cockroach has done just that, from lush jungles to ancient caves, from straw huts to log cabins, and from bustling city streets to the futuristic space age. This little survivor has seen it all. With a blend of humor and resilience, the AI cockroach teaches us that adaptability is key. It's not just about surviving, it's about thriving no matter what life throws at you. So whether you're facing the challenges of today or the unknowns of tomorrow, channel your inner AI cockroach. Embrace change, stay strong, and keep moving forward. Survive the future, one tiny step at a time.
Joe, we got two huge shows coming up. They're all huge because AI is changing constantly and everything's new, innovative, and expands exponentially. But I wanted to talk to you and get your thoughts on how it's becoming more and more accepted, because the more stuff I read, it's becoming more mainstream in big magazines. Like Variety wrote this article we're going to talk about today, which is about major studios partnering with major AI companies to create something new in media and entertainment production. And then our next show, I want to talk to you about major talent, specifically James Cameron partnering with an AI company and get that dynamic. So we got the corporate and we got the personal. So I want to talk about Lionsgate and Runway AI. Lionsgate, we know, huge movie company, a ton of movies. I don't have to list them. Anybody can look them up, IMDb, and they're amazing. And Runway is also an amazing startup company that you should also look into as well. And I want to use my little cheat sheet today because I want to get the quotes correct from the CEOs and people in the company, and we can discuss them. So the Lionsgate partnership with Runway, Lionsgate is going to use AI to let filmmakers augment their work. Studios expect to save millions via the pact with startup Runway. What are they talking about? I think I know, but how do you read that?
Yeah, I love the word augment. Yeah. It's vague enough, but yes, it's specific enough. So it's a perfect word for Hollywood. So AI, as we understand, AI is going to amp up the way everything's done. And AI has been doing it for quite a while. Mm-hmm. It's just now it got a good PR agent and it's in the forefront of everything. But AI can be in pre-production. AI can be in actual production. AI can be in post-production. AI can be in crewing. AI could be in budget projections. AI could be used in script. AI can be everywhere as long as you identify which AI app you need for that particular time, and it's best in class in that area.
Right.
So what Hollywood's now getting around to is finding, I say this all the time, follow the money. So is there a cheaper and better way to do things? Maintaining a certain level of excellence. So that's, people always think you get cheated when they find more efficient mm-hmm. ways. That's not the case. It's finding a more efficient way to do it and giving the creatives more opportunities and a quicker way to get to their vision. So I think that's what these marriages, and they're going to keep going. Mm-hmm. And Lou, this is nothing new. Technology and creatives go together like chocolate and peanut butter. They just marry together. They're always together. And new tech, new creative. New tech, new creative.
What was that for? Reese's peanut butter cups? You got peanut butter on my chocolate?
Yeah, that was it. That was it. One. I was going peanut butter and jelly, but I don't know if anybody even eats peanut butter and jelly anymore.
No more. They talked about the pact. Like, what is this pact that they're going to do? And the quote was, the pact centers around Runway's creation and training of a new AI model customized to Lionsgate proprietary portfolio of over 20,000 plus titles and films and television. So it seems to me, and tell me if I'm wrong, am I reading this correct? They're now taking Lionsgate library, using Runway's AI, and they're going to channel in on just their stuff and see what the hell they can come up with?
Yeah. Again, who knows? the vagueness of what they're reporting is
Right.
proprietary, and I'm sure they might not even know at this moment how
Yeah.
this is all going to play out. So you use words like pack, arrangement, partnership, blah blah blah, but in the end, again, it's no different. It's different. Lucas has done this. Spielberg's done this. They all do this. They all partner
Mhm.
with certain technologies and certain opportunities. It sounds like AI needs a database in order for them to do it. The bigger the database, the more powerful, the more efficient AI is. So, and Lionsgate needs a modern day, a more futuristic way to do things to get to that. But in between that, you also heard training, because they have to learn how to do this.
Right.
Creatives don't automatically just a new tech comes out and know how to apply it, because they're going
Right.
to ask questions. You got tech people on one side who are building in a direction that they think is cool or that they think can be usable. And then you've got creatives on the other side saying, I need this. No, I don't need that. I need this. So that synergy has to happen. And then you have to have a level of platform interfaces, you know, UX in internet terms. You need
Right.
that experience. You need to know how to, where the handles are, where the buttons are, how am I going to do this old world stuff more efficiently in the new world?
Right. So, from the layman's perspective, what I heard you say is they're going to take their 20,000 plus library of amazing films, and they're going to look at AI is going to start saying, okay, let me see all this stuff. Oh, that's really cool. How did they do that scene? Or that's an amazing effect. How did they do that effect? And is AI going to kind of come back with, well, you wouldn't know this, but I would imagine that AI is going to come back with the ideas of, okay, now I've seen all this great stuff you guys do, and I know kind of the genre of movie and television you guys create. So
That's
now,
I don't mean to interrupt you, but
yeah, go ahead. Go
you're
ahead.
going off in a path that is a little bit, there's no data behind that.
Right.
So if it's looking at a visual library, it's not looking at how that scene got shot. It's not looking at the technology. If I'm the creative and I need it to go, okay, I'm doing a sci-fi and I want an ocean that's filled with blue something or other on Mars and and you start getting all this. And then when it became in the old world a week ago, to execute that, you had to then somebody had to figure out, how do we either simulate this and build this, or how do we do this in post-production, which is where 99% of the time it was done, until you get to things like Lucas, when they built the volume, Stagecraft, which was their first LED walls. So those are the evolutionary kind of things. So now we're saying, I need this ocean scene. Go to Lionsgate. Let's look at every water scene that Lionsgate has, or even a desert that could be simulated that might look like, if we change some of the parameters, that it'll look like ocean. So now you've literally have this, because think about, you just said those movies, but within the movies, there's thousands and thousands of scenes.
Yeah.
And each one of those scenes can be translated into something. And I don't want to dominate this, but if you had a picture of a dog and you said, I want a dog that has eagle wings on it, and I want it to be flying over a mountain range, you would tell AI that. AI would go find eagles and take the wings, and would take the dog and put him on there. And then AI would put that dog's with those wings moving, maybe video stills, I don't know, and then put it up in the mountain range and fly it. But if AI couldn't find those wings, it would do this. I don't know. Or if AI went and got wings that were licensed to somebody else, then that's a problem.
Yeah.
But if you stay within your licensed technology, your licensed imagery, audio's the same thing, all of this is the same. So, but now you're giving freedom to a creative who's not going to get shot down because the cost of what he's trying or she's trying to do gets blown up.
Hence the cost savings, which was the opening paragraph. I got a question, then we're going to go to the next segment. What does, because we're trying to talk about real world jobs today and how they get affected by AI. What happens to a scout, like a location scout?
In some cases, you're probably, if there were in one studio, maybe there were 1,000 scouts that were out. So now maybe you have 200. It's like anything else. You know, I just did a great interview with one of the crew guys from Fletcher, which is a super robotic camera company used in sports and concerts. And, you know, we talked about how one operator now is operating 4 cameras. But the point being was, yeah, I'm operating 4 cameras, and let's use the U.S. Open. And I don't mean to get too far off track. But let's go to the U.S. Open. Prior to that, they couldn't afford to have cameras in every one of the outer courts. So now you have all those courts can become recorded and can be streamed. So now you've increased operators in more of those opportunities. So it's all about readjusting what you know how to do and how you know how to do that. And when we come back, I want to talk a little bit about how this technology, I'll give you some similarities of how technology has changed, but is still the same and just gives us more tools as a creative.
Awesome. And we will be back at the Faro City Studios in just a minute to talk some more.
Listen, here's your shot, which is what you need. It's available if you're interested. You can start right now, or you can wait years looking to get in, get skills, or miraculously get ahead. Sure, you can do the waiting thing too, but you absolutely can start and join us today.
So welcome back. We are talking AI, obviously, at the AI Cockroach Show. Joe, you broke before the break. You were talking about technology and being the same and different. You want to pick up on that?
Yeah. When a new, let's also keep remembering, this AI technology is not new. It's newish. It's being accepted now. It's getting refined now. And this is a similarity that I always default back to because I lived through it, which was in the music industry when synthesizers first came out. They were built by engineers. They were very technical. Their panels looked technical. The words they used were technical. The interfaces were very technical, very engineering. So musicians, it wasn't a friendly place to be because it didn't make sense as to how to use it. It's not a Hammond organ where you push stops and now you play. There were things that you needed to know, that you had to go figure out what an oscillator was. Oh, that's a sound source. What's a sound source? So, but as they became more integrated into the music scene and people started finding out how to technically use them, the synth manufacturers got savvy and started taking the raw tech that they were using and started using musical terms. But you still had, it was very mechanical. You still had to make this go to here, which is great if you're creative in that mindset. But for the vast majority of keyboard players, it was a hard grasp. So then the next evolution was make some of those sounds predetermined, presets. So, okay, we're going to give you the trumpet, but we're going to give you the ability, if you're smart and want to, you can push edit, and now you can go in and tweak the trumpet, but you have a legitimate starting point. So that became what really took over the market. That became the opportunity that the instrument became a true instrument in the world of creative music. This is the same thing. If you go back to what AI is being used for, AI in the visual medium, it's It was originally CGIs. It was green screens. It was, okay, we want to put this person in a different location. So we would build green screens. They learned how to key out the green and pop in another background. And oh, cool, that works. And then CGI became that, computer generated imagery. It then became this other thing that was a little bit, but you all had to learn the handles. Photoshop is kind of an AI without the assistant.
Right.
It's doing this. It's manipulating imagery the same way AI is going to do it, except you don't have to push the handles. 3D imaging. There's so many things that precede it where we are, and there's operators and there's creatives who have learned this. So the leap for them isn't a big deal. The leap for a script writer to all of a sudden become a production person, that's a big leap, but you can leap right into AI, but you need to find the handles. And in AI, the handles are the prompts. Say the right words, tell it to do the right thing, give it enough instructions, and it will come back and find it, provided it has a big enough database that you're licensed to use. And that's the key word, licensed to use, because it'll go out to the internet, which is a ginormous database. But you can get burned because you're going to get scenes and stuff you can't use.
Yeah. Which I guess is why it's kind of cool that Runway is focused on the library of Lionsgate. So whatever they get, they obviously own.
Yeah. And that's the perfect pack because that works well together.
And good recall on pack.
And AI, Runway also has something that I've seen, and I did a little research, and it's cool. I love it. They have their generative daydreaming, which is so cool. So as we talked about prompts, okay, I want it to do this. I want it to do that. It is making suggestions. Hey, you know what? Here's some images you might like. If you're looking for cool smoke, did you ever think about using fur in this situation? Did you ever think, I know you want a dog and their dogs are cool, but instead of wings, do you want a butterfly wing? Let's try that. Or how about a wings that don't exist? How about dragon wings? How about, something else? But it's that collaborative part that we've talked about all the way through these shows, but it's also conversations I've had out in the industry constantly. It's a collaborator with you. It's an assistant and it's a collaborator. But this generative daydreaming, which is a great phrase, allows you to sit there and start thinking, ruminating on, wow, what other ideas could I use in this scene?
Yeah.
It starts making suggestions. And as you say, no, it goes, okay, so don't give him any more of those. Here, when you say yes, okay, give her more of this stuff. And that's the smartness. And that's how assistants keep their job. They start learning what their bosses want and make sure they funnel that information in.
Right. So, you know what, as you're saying this, I'm thinking to myself, I imagine like in a special effects writer's room, everybody sitting around the table with a model or notepads, and they're saying, okay, draw the dog and then put these wings on it. Nah, stupid wings. And then little Billy says, oh, how about this wing? You're like, yeah, no. And it keeps going and going until you throw Billy out of the room. Say, every idea you said has been stupid. Get out.
Right. Exactly.
Out.
And then you don't take ideas from them again.
No. Right. And then he's done. He's out. He's done.
Right.
But also AI does that, which is interesting.
And the thing that you have to realize, you don't have to, the thing you should be paying attention to is in that special effects room, as you're trying to conceptualize and you're going around and you're coming up with this, you also have to have somebody in there who can model it, who can say, okay, we can build this, but it's going to take X amount of man hours and it's going to take all this other money.
Right.
When you're in the AI world, you don't have that constraint. You can almost do it immediately. You can do it and it'll keep churning, especially if you have Lionsgate's database.
Yeah, yeah.
You can start, jamming stuff together fast, and it's not costing you anything. And you're shrinking down the development time.
There's a lot of moments where you just go, holy cow. Then you start thinking of a million things and you can't even get your head around it. I wanted to spend a minute or two, and then we're going to take a break. I want to talk about leadership and what the vice chair, Michael Burns is his name, at Lionsgate said. And he was kind of talking about how Lionsgate is embracing AI versus fearing it, and the leadership around that. And his quote was, we view AI as a great tool for augmenting, enhancing, and supplementing our current operations. So it seems like he's got more of a global picture on how this can actually affect the entire company versus a special effects segment of it. How important is that to have a leader that sees this type of stuff?
It's invaluable. I mean, that's what leaders are supposed to be. They're supposed to be, I'm talking about anywhere, financial, Wall Street, anywhere. Mm-hmm. Leaders are supposed to be innovators. They're supposed to be visionaries. They're supposed to see the front end. Musk is like, everybody should aspire to be Musk. I mean, his stuff, his brain, he is the great thinker of our time, mm-hmm. but he also gets it done.
Yeah.
And, and it's not just dollars. There's a lot of billionaires out there, but this guy's a wizard in all of those fields. So the head of Lionsgate is thinking that, oh, wow, it can do this stuff in our production people, but maybe we can use it over here in our accounting. Maybe we could use it over here in our investment. Maybe we can use it over here in screening opportunities when people are pitching ideas to us, or it can do market evaluation for us. It can check, for our focus groups. I mean, it just becomes bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger when you start thinking about it. And that's what you're supposed to do in those positions.
Yeah. Yes. And the bigger it gets, it also can get even smaller. And the example you brought up, Musk, this week, it's October 2024, or was it last week? He landed the launch part of that rocket back on the pad using, what did he call it? The chopsticks? Dude. How crazy is that?
Hey, real quick before we go, my background. I worked for ITT Defense, so I was on the shuttle project. I was on global positioning satellites, which everybody now knows as their navigation systems. That technology is ridiculous, and that this guy just did it.
Yeah,
he has blazed past all of the bureaucracy of NASA and all these other things that took forever to get anything done, and he just goes, "All right, I got this idea. Somebody build it." And if Billy's in the room and giving him stupid ideas, I'm sure he's throwing them out.
Quickly.
Yeah.
Quickly. It was amazing, that shot of his team in front of the giant skyscraper, that launch tower. I looked at that. I mean, there was hundreds of people there, and I'm like, the brain power in that shot, it's got to be crazy.
Yeah.
It's got to be absolutely.
And again, we could do a whole series on him. Because he truly is. I am so glad I am born in this time and have the experiences I have to be able to really evaluate how amazingly brilliant. He's got to be an alien. There's no way he has the same DNA that you and I have. No way.
Yeah. And I don't know how he manages it all, because it's not just the rocket company. He's got Tesla. Anyway, Elon Musk. So let's take a break and rest our brains for a second, and then we'll come back to the Ferro City Studios and talk a little bit more, and we'll wrap up in our last segment. We'll be right back. So I want to talk about in the last block, given what we just experienced and discussed, let's talk about how all that stuff can affect different jobs and titles. I know I hinted to it a little bit earlier of what a location scout's new job might look like using Runway and within Lionsgate. I got a list here that they talked about in AI ethics officers, data analysts, technical artists, machine learning skills, and creative storytelling people can have a different way of working than they're currently working. Is that something to fear or is that something to embrace
You're
as a
talking
worker?
yeah, you're talking to somebody who says embrace everything. And
Mhm.
if you're not racing, if you're not lined up with new tech, and if you're not ahead of it, which is really where you should always be, know it's coming, then it's your fault.
Right.
And more than likely, you're going to get replaced. I'm sorry, it's just the way it's going to work. But if you look at in our industry, there's something called EICs, the engineers in charge. So those guys originally had tape decks. They originally had, in a recording studio, you originally had 2-inch tape running around and very mechanical things. You don't have those. You do, but that it's kind of nouveau. I want to do retro stuff. Most of it's all digital. So if you're trying to troubleshoot, as an engineer would have to, a problem, you have to understand the IP, because everything's IP. There's very little copper anywhere. So everything is running on fiber. So you have to make those adjustments. And for me, it was actually tricky because I'm such a analog, as you can see always by my studio. I love analog because I can feel it, touch it. I have a cable, I can break it, I know how to patch it. When I'm looking at light in a glass tube, it took me a while to understand what a dirty glass, when you get dust inside a light fiber, what it actually looks like on the end. So I could look at it and go, oh, there's sparkles in the picture. There's dirt in the line. And then you get a blower and you actually blow it into the line. So I had to adjust to the new tech. I could have said, no, I don't understand it. It's voodoo to me. And I would have been done. So, but to that point, Lou, if I could take 1 second away from your format.
Yeah, go ahead.
I always like to look at history and put myself in that moment, not with what I know now. Go back to then and think about what the world was like around me. And I do this historically. I do this biblically. I'll read a passage and think, So I'm thinking if you go back to green screen, pre-green screen, and somebody wanted, and you mentioned location scouts, and somebody wanted to go shoot Lawrence of Arabia, somebody had to go out. They had to go, okay, should we go to Asia and look around? Well, maybe there's a desert in Mexico that we can shoot at, or maybe we can go here. So they had to look physically at all these places.
Yeah.
Then you had to bring cinematographers out who could look at it and say, from this angle, it looks like that, or from that angle, it looks like that. Oh, but we can only shoot in October because the sun is right there. There's a lot of work. And then somebody came up with, wait a minute, how about if we just build this green wall and we put somebody in front of it, and there's something that was developed called key. So in an image, there's two things. There's the image and then there's a icon. So you can cut all the green out and just place something else behind it. And now that person is in a desert. At the moment, that was magic. That was AI of the time. That was, oh my God, this is a crazy. And we don't have to pay location. We don't have to ship cameras.
Right,
We don't have to send all these other people. And that was great. Yeah, people lost their jobs. Guys who drove those trucks with all that gear, they're gone. Some of those other people, the people who got paid for the location fees, gone. Stuff happens and it changes. And that moved into CGI, replaced the green. And so what I'm saying is things will do that, but put yourself in the moment. So 25 years from now, we're going to look back at the dawn of AI and go, of course it did. Of course. Now, why was everybody freaking out? It was just another natural step.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really mind bending because it's so relatable, as you said, to the concrete, tangible things that we had. Like when you're talking about the green screens and all that other stuff, I was thinking even before green screens, what did they do? Like Wizard of Oz, right? You had that yellow brick road, then you had like a couple of tree type things, and then you had a painting of a castle. That's a whole bunch of people that did set painting, I guess, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah. You had designers, you had artists, you had painters, you had people who built those flats. It was very theater-esque because that's what they were evolving from. They were evolving from theater. So the golden age of Hollywood with those huge sets.
Right.
And, even all the musicals that they did, those sound stages were monstrous.
Yeah.
All the Westerns, they built those towns. They didn't have anything behind them, but when you rode down the street of Gunsmoke, it looked real.
Yeah. Yeah.
All gone. I mean, Lucas did it when he built Soundcraft. He's not him, but the technologists that are around him, those creative visionaries went, wait a minute, how about if we build this ginormous LED wall? And then we could go to gamers, which is what they did, and they brought in a gaming technology that gave them 3D because that's where that came from. So you have to have that Musk mentality that anything's possible.
Right. And it's interesting, and we'll wrap up here. I was watching a show on National Geographic Channel, and it was about Ocean X. And it was this giant ship they converted. It's James Cameron. This sets up.
Yeah, I saw it. It's great.
You saw
great
it?
documentary. Yeah, great show.
Okay. So that, well, let me set up just a bit more. So this guy, this millionaire who built that ship, he's Bridgewater, one of the largest hedge funds that are out there. He said to Elon, basically, you take care of space and I'm going to move to the ocean. So he said there's enough billionaires working on SpaceX stuff. He got to Ocean X, got Cameron, and they started this whole thing, and they did that series. But what I wanted to talk about, Joe, is that, did you see that thing that they look at? It's like a 3D circular.
Oh yeah,
that
it's awesome.
Pops up the whales, and they did a scan of the bottom of the ocean, and all of a sudden you're watching like a laser show of the mountains, and I'm like, what the? I thought that was like CGI'd in, but it's not. That's actually a thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But let me back you into that, because I look at everything. How did they do it?
Yeah,
I watched that show, and there were scenes that, okay, we're down at this depth and blah blah blah, but they had an exterior shot of the capsule, and I was like, is there a diver down there? And then he can't be, because you're telling me that you're afraid your thing's going to blow up.
Yeah.
He would have blown up, or she would have blown up a long time ago.
Guaranteed.
So then I was looking at it, and and they had arms, big jib arms that were out, that were pointed back in. So there's a production mentality that went into that. And then you have Cameron there. So he's doing this for effect, for not FX, but for the audience effects. Even that device that they were playing with.
Yeah.
I didn't do any research into it. I didn't look into it. I didn't even start calling friends who might have been on that whole thing. A lot of underwater cinematographers. But what?
No, I'm just laughing because that's like a thing. Oh, I'm an underwater cinematographer.
There's plenty of them.
Do? Oh, I'm an accountant.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. And you know what's funny? I had company over, and the guy's a doctor. Very doesn't matter. And I said to him, if you knew, we watching the show together, I said, if you knew these types of jobs were available, would you have become a doctor? He said, no way. He said, I would have been an oceanographer in a second, or somebody like, how do you fall into underwater photography?
That actually, I mean, I dove back in the day before I blew my ears out. But
Yeah.
that was a thing because Jacques Cousteau,
Yeah.
I watched those shows and I was like, dude, I'm doing this. I'm absolutely doing this. But I was going to say, you should ask your doctor friend, who I'm sure has a serious bank account,
Yeah.
if he would give up that bank account to be able to do that, because that's the trade-off.
Yeah. No,
Most of us in this business,
Yeah.
you don't do this for the dollars because there is no money in it. The money's owning the studio.
Yeah.
The money's owning the projects,
Yeah.
but everybody below the line, you're doing it for passion.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny you say that too, because this kind of came up in the conversation. He said, you know what? I used to care about the polar bears, but no more. He's done. He thinks they're okay. He's not worried about them. I said care. He was concerned about the polar bears, but he's no longer concerned. He thinks they're okay now, based on the show. So
you watch all of that, and that's, there's, I don't know. The show was awesome. I looked at it visually because it's the closest that anybody's gotten to an advanced Jacques Cousteau type of show, and I don't know why that just disappeared. I'm sure it doesn't make money and it costs a lot to do it.
Exactly.
But anyway, sorry, Lou. I deviated.
No. Listen, this is what the AI cockroach show is. We scurry. Lights come on.
Every time that open comes on, I laugh my butt off because I'm thinking people have. If you didn't see the first show, you have no idea why we have that dinky open or why the name of the show is what it is. But anyway, I'll let you go.
Thank you, buddy. And next week I want to come back and we're going to talk about James Cameron partnering with his AI partner, and we'll save that for next week for the reveal.
Okay. I also have a couple of guests that I want to bring on that are in the field in different aspects of one's music, one's actually in pro sports generation of all that. And I want to get them on, have them kind of tell you firsthand what those evolutions are like. I'm sorry to interrupt at your closing. So go ahead.
No. I'm excited. You gave me a hint, and I love the technology that they represent, and I can't wait for everybody to learn about it. We'll see you all next week on the Faro City Network and here in the Faro Studios. Joe, thanks again, buddy. And we got to do our sign off. Goodbye.
Bye. The cockroach antlers.
Goodbye.
All right, Lou. Ciao.
Ciao.